Hi, welcome to ILoveWhisky. My name is Leonardo, and I'm here with with me again. You have to say your name. This is the part where you say your name.
Tanya.
Great, right? Anyways, today's episode is about Cosmopolitans, and this is a whiskey channel. And to this day, I've actually not tried any kind of Cosmopolitan with whiskey. Not even before we actually did this shoot, I've tried this. So actually, it's all in my head. So it might work, or it might be terrible. We're crossing fingers that it actually works. Anyways, why could it work? Well, first of all, we need to go back in history, and without really going too deep. Basically, today's Cosmopolitan is very sweet. It's very female friendly. It's very heavy on the juices, the sweetness. Now we're going to go back to like the recipe from the 1930s, which is like basically way more dry as a cocktail. And what does dry mean? Well, if you're not a bartender, well, dry means basically that you're very low on sugars and very low on juices. And when we say low, it's basically, as I recall it, 1.5 maximum of juices and 0.5 of CLs. Now again, this is CLs we're talking, not ounces. So what whiskey did I choose? Well, that's the biggest challenge, because you need to figure out how the hell can you make this work with cranberry. Because cranberry is the killer in this drink. The rest of the puzzle is pretty easy. So you have a cranberry and you say, okay, what kind of whiskey would work? I came up with two ideas, and I'm going to start with this one. So if this works, we keep it at that one. And what is this? This is Aberlour, and I won't even say the name, but you'll see it on the screen because I can't pronounce it. Abu something. Anyways, what's special about this whiskey? Well, first of all, it's Speyside whiskey, Scotch. And if you don't know what Speyside is, well, Speyside is the region in Scotland where they make a lot of whiskey. It's one of the biggest regions in Scotland. And basically, what is Speyside known for? Well, they're known for not making peated whiskey. So that basically means that all the whiskeys, and when I say all, of course there will be exceptions, but all whiskeys are not peated. And if you don't know what the term peated means, well, it means smoked. So no cigars for this episode. So what are the measurements? Well, right now we're actually testing it. So basically we're gonna take our glass here, and we're gonna fill it up with all the right ingredients. Now, where to start? Basically, we're gonna start heavy. One thing I forgot to mention, this whiskey in particular has cask strength. And if you're American, that means barrel strength. And if you don't know what cask strength or barrel strength means, basically it means that they make the final product, and instead of watering it down, which they do in most cases, like they do with this whiskey I have here, which is 40%, they keep the strength that they had in the production in the barrel. That means it's 60%. That means we just went up like 20% plus on alcohol. So it's going to be very strong. However, this is a very round whiskey. It's been matured in Oloroso cask, and it just gives it this special aroma, the sweetness, it gives it like a bit of berry feeling over it, and that's why I thought this would be a good match for Cosmopolitan. So Tanya, if you may, we have a jigger over there. Can you put 5 CLs here? And we have different jiggers. This one in particular is 4, big part, to the small part. So I need 5. And keep in mind, this could go very wrong. It could go really, really, really wrong. So next part we're going to focus on is actually how much triple sec. And if you look into the original recipe, it wasn't that much. Like, it was very heavy on basically, I just saw she over poured a bit, so we're going to pour a bit more than we need to, just to compensate the over pouring here. But
I just love it strong.
Yeah, she loves whiskey, that's why. So we're going to have some triple sec. Now, the original recipe was not that heavy on it, and we're going to keep it that way. So basically we're going to keep it down to 1.5, but you're going to pour a bit more, so you compensate for the over pour before.
Okay.
So a bit more than 1.5. Now, triple sec, if you don't know what that is, well, triple sec is orange liquor. You can get different brands. The most common brand to see, or the most famous brand, is Cointreau, which is a French liquor. It's a bit sweeter than this particular brand, But you can also, if you're lucky, you can still get these old brands called Grand Marnier, and they used to have this yellow label version, and that was extremely sweet. But if you use that one, of course, you would have to deduce the actually amount of triple sec or Grand Marnier. Now comes to the hard part. How much cranberry juice do we add to it? We're going to start with 1.5. But we may change it to 2 if I feel that we need to add more to make it work with all the things, because they have to complement each other. You don't want anything to stand out too much. The whiskey, of course, is the hero. Yeah, actually there's a bit more, but yeah, we have to compensate. So yeah, if you don't have like a loop, she overpoured again, but it's fine because basically we need to compensate for the first overpouring of the whiskey. But 1.5 is the right measurement. That's about half an ounce whiskey. Lemon juice. Here we're going to go very, very low. We're going to go on 1 cl of lemon juice because really we don't want to kill the whiskey, and lemon is not the best to bring out a lot of flavors, especially in this whiskey. So 1 cl. Good. Yeah. And last I'm going to do, the last part I'm going to put very little. And how little? Of what, of course? Sugar. I'm going to put half a cl of sugar, just like almost drops of sugar. Because I don't want to kill the flavor. I want basically the sugar, because imagine what the sugar does basically, it kind of brings all these ingredients together. So without the sugar, they're really apart. All these flavors will be very spread out, and you want them to be a bit more bind together. And now we need some ice. This is going to be a bit moist. And we forgot to cool the glass, but that's what happens when you talk too much. So now we need to shake it. Do you want to shake it or should I? Okay. You know how to do it? Expert? You know, if you do it wrong, this can go viral. So before you say anything, she's not a bartender. She's just the assistant.
Beautiful assistant.
Never do that. So if you're new to shakers, you want to open it from the side and like this. Use the fingers. Kind of taste it and see if it works. It's not far off, but as I said, I could have put up some of the things. And actually, I'm going to add a bit more of cranberry, but not much. When I see a little bit, I said before, I might put it up to 2. And I'll keep it at 2. So that means half a cl more. And the lemon actually, also a splash more. That means half a cl. And the last part, actually the sugar. So in total, to update it, is 1 cl of sugar. I hope that didn't cost much. Anyways, pour it there, and when we shake, we would actually have the right flavor we're looking for. I think it's good. One important factor is when we reshake, we don't want to do it? I should do it. You want to?
Again with this?
Yeah, don't slap me, slap the shake. Next video, we're going to make how to open a shaker.
First time I did it.
Yes,
well.
please.
It's just wrong.
Actually works. Actually works. I'm surprised. It worked. One thing I will say, it's not for a person who doesn't like whiskey. It works for a person who likes whiskey, because I know we've made other cocktails that have been more where we worked less on the whiskey. And the important thing is we don't water this one too much down, but it actually works. The easy way, if you wanted to make this work without changing the recipe and keeping the modern, you can always use like a white grain whiskey, which is not really a whiskey, but it's like a white whiskey, a whiskey before it comes into a cask and gets matured. Then it will work perfectly. And we, at one point, I think we made an aviation on it, where I showed how you can make an aviation with a white whiskey and make it even taste better. But yeah, this actually works. I'm gonna pour this out. The one thing you have to bear in mind, you will not have that Sex and the City color, where it's like all pink and all that stuff, because now we have whiskey. So we have a different color, of course. So yeah, there you have it. That's how you first try to make a Cosmopolitan with whiskey, and then you actually make it with whiskey and make it work. Thank you for this time. See you next time.